Kratos, the ultimate god killer, the Ghost of Sparta, the god of war, son of Zeus. Absolutely nothing is going to stop him on his god killing quests. Absolutely nothing. And if you're going on a god killing quest, well, chances are you're pretty powerful. Like, seriously powerful. And so here's the question: just how powerful is Kratos? How strong is he? How tough is he? Just what is he capable of? What are they? That's what we're going to figure out. But before we get into it, we'll make sure you go subscribe. Only about 20% of y'all are subscribed, so make sure you go change that. Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. It helps out a ton, and plus you get to see awesome videos like this one every single day. And if you already are subscribed, amazing, you are the absolute best. Now let's get it. Man, Kratos is such a beast. He's just a monster. And on top of that, a great character. We love a great character development here, we just love to see it. In the first trilogy, Kratos had a solid reason for hating the gods and wanting to kill them all. He had served under Ares after Ares had saved him, but Ares turned around and influenced Kratos to kill his own family, since Kratos' wife and children loved and worshipped Athena more than Ares. And so, yeah, Kratos went on a little bit of a rampage, killed pretty much all the Greek gods, but wasn't that deep of a character. And then this game came out, and we take Kratos, and you're able to dissect him and analyze him. And Kratos went from a rampaging, unstoppable beast to a man who begins to feel guilty about the sins of his past, tries to atone for his mistakes. We see a rampaging god who's trying to learn how to be a good man, who his son can look up to. You may not forgive Kratos for what he's done in the past, but you can begin to sympathize with him. You can see that he isn't a heartless monster, but a guy who's trying to redeem himself. But Kratos isn't just a great character because of his history and his story. He's also just an absolute beast. He's so freaking powerful. Like, let me introduce you to Kronos, the king of the Titans. 1,600 feet tall, 7 million tons. And when this Titan tried to crush Kratos with his fingers, well, Kratos was able to hold him off and push him back. That's like holding back millions of tons, overpowering billions of tons of force. It's an absolutely insane showing. And Kratos did it again. This time he was fighting against Atlas, a primordial god who's roughly just as strong as Kronos, and is tasked with holding the sky on his shoulders. Atlas tried to squish Kratos, just like Kronos did, but Kratos was able to hold it off and push him back, just like he did with Kronos. Wait. Let me make sure you get that. Atlas is the strongest titan in God of War. It required the might of both Hades and Poseidon to stop him. He could hold the entire cosmos on his shoulders, to prevent it from falling and collapsing. Yet he still failed to crush Kratos. And Kratos is also just a fraction of his size, too. Kratos also fought against some Norse gods, like Baldur, a dude who's dang near invincible, who literally cannot feel pain, just has a lot of stuff going for him. In fact, he was referred to as the strongest opponent that Kratos had ever faced, at least in terms of straight up raw strength. Yet Kratos was still able to overpower him. Baldur is the same guy who's able to knock out the World Serpent, the serpent that fought for forever against Thor, a serpent that's so big that his body circles around the world. And Baldur knocked out this big snake with like 3 hits. And then Kratos proceeded to beat the ever loving crap out of this guy and snap his neck. Basically, Kratos is ridiculously strong. He's also really tough. I mean, he's taken lightning bolts from Zeus. Lightning bolts that can literally destroy mountains. Not only that, but lightning bolts that already push back Gaia, one of the most powerful beings of all time. She was the literal embodiment of the earth, to the point where her just waking up was enough to shake the whole earth, or her breath can cause mountains to shake and continents to move. Zeus's lightning is was able to injure her and push her back. And Kratos took it. He survived a point blank volcanic eruption that sunk Atlantis. He's taken punches from Hercules, the literal god of strength. And even just his stamina is unbelievable. Fighting enemy after enemy, god after god, titan after titan, seemingly without end. He's even survived some truly crazy attacks, like when Hades straight up tried to rip Kratos' soul out of his body. Yet Kratos was just like, nope, and took his soul back. It didn't work. But here's the thing, while those are great, amazing examples of Kratos' strength or his durability or things like that, I don't think it actually does the best job at demonstrating Kratos' true power. In order to do that, we gotta take a look at all the many gods that he's killed in the past. So in God of War, there are basically three different power levels or power groupings: primordials, titans, and the gods of Olympus. In the beginning, before anything was, there were the primordials. These beings waged war on each other before the very concept of time existed. And out of this war came the Earth. And not just the Earth, but the whole universe itself. I mean, they were throwing punches around and literally creating the Big Bang. That's insane. What's even crazier? Kratos killed some of these guys. Like he killed Gaia, Mother Earth herself. She's the first being to ever exist in the God of War story. Preceded all the primordials, and they had already all preceded the universe itself. Gaia is an omnipresent being, able to exist everywhere, all at the same time, exist in every time, even see the future. And Kratos killed her and Zeus at the same time. That's not the only primordial that he's killed. He's also fought against and killed Thanatos, the primordial personification of death. This guy existed before the universe too, fought in the primordial war, even created his own dimension. And here Kratos is, killing him. Granted, like it was a hard fight, it wasn't easy for Kratos to do this, but this guy is one of the most powerful primordials ever. Was the literal embodiment of the very concept of death. It was never going to be an easy fight. It was one of the fights where everyone began to take Kratos seriously. This is when Zeus began to actually be afraid of Kratos, calling him the destroyer of worlds. You want to know something else crazy? The Titans and the gods are on the same level as the primordials. They actually were the ones who replaced the primordials. The Titans are their children and ruled creation during a golden age of peace and prosperity where the Titans were the end all be all. That is until Kronos' son rose up to overthrow them and establish Mount Olympus. And there are a few Titans that Kratos fought against and beat too. He even killed a few of them. Like Atlas. We talked about this guy earlier, but he is the strongest Titan in God of War. Could hold up the earth with just one hand, and was the one tasked with carrying the weight of the entire cosmos on his back. And just so we're clear, in God of War, the universe, the cosmos, they're literally infinite. Not infinitely expanding like our universe, but just infinite. Yet Kratos held him back. He couldn't overpower Kratos. And then there's Kronos, the king of the Titans, the very embodiment of time, the ruler of the universe during this golden age, and he claimed that throne by defeating the embodiment of the universe itself, Uranus. He did it in an epic, potentially universe shattering fight that was similar to the fight between the primordials that created the universe in the first place. And you know what? While Kronos killed his father Uranus, a dude who has powers way beyond the universe, well, Kratos was able to kill him. He died by Kratos' hands. And then last but not least, well, there are the gods, the children of the Titans. The gods were destined to rule the universe and crush all opposition under their feet. The king of the gods, Zeus, fought for vengeance and freedom from his parents that would eventually end the time of the Titans and bring about the reign of Mount Olympus. For a millennia, the gods ruled creation, governing the fundamental forces of nature and order until Kratos showed up. Kratos managed to kill plenty of gods, but it was really impressive that he was able to take down the big three: Hades, Poseidon, and Zeus. Hades is the third most powerful god in God of War. He was even able to gobble up Atlas's soul and gain all of his power. So the way that Hades works is that his power increases with the more souls that he devours. And Kratos fought Hades centuries after the Great War. So that means that the version of Hades that Kratos was fighting was even more powerful than when Hades fought Atlas. Yet Hades still couldn't end up devouring Kratos' soul. Instead, it ended up being the other way around. Along with it, Kratos gained all the other souls that Hades had eaten. Poseidon is the second most powerful god. While we don't really know a ton about him, we do know he can kill a titan with just one punch. He would have even killed Gaia herself if it wasn't for Kratos, if he hadn't gotten to Poseidon first. And last but not least, Zeus, the most powerful being in God of War. He almost killed Gaia with just one lightning bolt. His mere anger can shake the entire universe. He was the guy that created the Blade of Olympus, the most powerful weapon in the universe, and used it to absolutely obliterate the Titans. It's basically like the Infinity Gauntlet. You just gotta swing it around and you just gotta use it, and every being ceases to exist against it. It's pretty freaking crazy. But then Zeus was stabbed twice with the blades and didn't die. It just made him mortal. That's how powerful Zeus is. And you know what? Kratos killed him. Kratos beat him. Kratos is out there just consistently beating universe level beings, even beings beyond the universe, beating the very gods and beings that were responsible for creating the universe in the first place. And Kratos is beating all of them. He's basically their reckoning. And Kratos isn't slowing down anytime soon. Even though he looks like old man Kratos in God of War now, this Kratos is actually even more powerful than before. In fact, the director of the game even said that old Kratos would beat young Kratos. No question. Which, I mean, does make sense. He's got more experience. He's wiser now than he was before. He's actually been able to master his rage and not become blinded by it. He's essentially better in every way. Not only that, but Kratos has actually been holding back from using his true power while in the Norse realm. So if this is Kratos holding back, well then Thor and Odin better bring their A game, or else they're in for a rude awakening. End of the day, Kratos is arguably the most powerful video game hero you'll ever be able to play as. Pretty much a straight up universal level being.